Hello and welcome to the Amberglass Podcast. Today we'll be covering new releases such as Dead Space 3 and Botanicular Collector's Edition, looking at the indie community and John Schaefer's new project. The discussion topic this week will be next-gen consoles, rumoured features, pricing and expectations. I'm Max.
I'm Andrew.
I'm Dave.
I'm Neil.
And as always, we strive to preserve the interest in gaming.
Got it right that time.
Yeah. It's good. They won't hear the first one though. That's fine.
I wish they could.
I've got to whisper it in the mic.
So, we'll start.
Right, so yeah, you can't really avoid talking about Dead Space 3 as much as I want to. Yeah.
Why?
Wow.
I don't.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm one of the
Reasons?
few people on Earth who doesn't like the base concept.
Such a hipster, Dave.
If you were looking for iconoclastic views, here we go.
Yeah. Right. Okay. The premise.
We're unbiased in our podcast. We never criticise anything.
Right. No. Like, don't get me wrong. Dead Space 3. It looks fantastic. It looks like it's been done really, really well. But the core concept of Dead Space, like going from the first one, which was the one I liked most. You're isolated and you're supposed to feel alone, you're supposed to feel trapped, really helpless. Now you have a partner which takes all of that away.
You don't have a partner unless you're playing co-op.
Well, yeah, but like I
That's
think
part
that
of the main campaign. You have a partner.
I think that just removes a lot from the game. Don't get me wrong. I might play it and see if it changes my opinion. I hope it does. I hope it's really, really like well done, but I don't have much to say on it because I without coming off as like hate speech and really biased. But
Well, Neil, you don't like it.
I like it. It looks good. I think it looks really good. Dead Space 1 isn't I don't like Dead Space 1 that much.
Yeah.
I liked.
this is where the
Dead Space 3.
conflict arises.
Yeah. I think Dead Space 1 was really boring and repetitive. I like Dead Space 2. So.
Neil's not used to having friends, so that's why he likes Dead Space 2 and 3, because you've got a co-op.
You can simulate
No, if I
friendship.
don't like having friends, I'd like Dead Space 1 more. Do you know how to talk to them?
Man,
I like people,
Dead
just
Space
don't-
1 sounds awesome.
You know
I
I'm
like having
joking.
friends, I just don't like people.
You know I'm joking.
Dead Space
You know I'm
1,
joking.
lone wolf. Yeah.
I mean,
Is this going to be the new release? It's just David, like, no, this game's coming out, it's bad.
Dead Space, like I do like the idea of them. I never bought one, never completed one, but like I've played them around other people's houses and stuff. I mean, they're pretty good, but I mean, I like the way they've kind of slightly altered the survival horror genre, and there's a lot of cool mechanics in it. But I don't know, it wasn't. It's just kind of samey, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But, I mean, the thing the thing about Dead Space 3 is it's got like the same kind of stuff as like when Mass Effect 3 was released, where like the collector's editions come with tons of different stuff. Like it's this content is on the disc.
It's made by EA.
It's physically
published by
on the
EA,
disc.
So it's obviously doing big
It's, if you could see data on discs, you'd be able to see all these guns and stuff, but you can't access them unless you pay extra money, and that's not right.
Yeah. No.
That's
Yeah.
why. Well, obviously,
wait,
it's
so
just Dead Space 3.
What do you kind of think of the
Well, it's got
Skylanders?
microtransactions and stuff. I don't. No.
Which, by the way, this week I think it was they
They
like
announced the new Skylanders.
they've got and they've hit record selling
It's
points.
selling
with
as
it.
one
Yeah.
of the cards and stuff where you.
It's
scan
the one-
stuff.
Yeah, it's the
No,
wee
it's-
figures that you
it's-
place
yeah.
on
Oh,
top.
yeah, okay, yeah.
You got the little platform thing,
Yeah.
with it, and the characters are actually in the game. You just need to wait for the figure to be released to access the character.
Oh,
Yeah.
So
But I mean,
My
in
8-year-old
terms of
doesn't
that,
use it.
like it's like the characters. Obviously, when you buy them, then but that character isn't necessarily needed.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you buy the characters you want to buy, essentially.
It'd be like
and
buying
it'd be the
Street Fighter
same.
with no characters apart from one.
What?
It'd be like buying Street Fighter with one character in it.
Yeah.
Well,
Pay for
yeah,
the rest.
no, I understand. Well, it's not quite like that because it's not.
No, it's not
one-
a fighter
It's
game.
not a two.
Yeah.
It's not a two-person like side-scrolling fighter game. That would be terrible. But like if it's like a beat 'em up, like if you bought God of War and it came with Kratos and then you could buy Zeus as
okay.
DLC, that's what it's like. It's not like
Yeah.
buying Street Fighter and all you have is Ryu versus
I
Ryu.
wish you could play through God of War as Zeus.
That would be awesome. But
Badass.
like in terms of like Dead Space 3, I mean it is kind of the same thing. Like it is just this kind of microtransaction-y stuff, but
Yeah.
and it's supposed to be not pay to win, but they can't balance this stuff properly if people aren't paying and people are paying.
Yeah.
But then again, like you shouldn't be able to do that kind of stuff in a single player. Like I understand it in multiplayer because they want to keep running the servers and like that's where you
Yeah.
free to play models and all this kind of stuff. But if it's in single player, I just don't get it. like rather than unlocking a gun, especially in something like a survival horror. Because, I mean, the whole point of a survival horror is ammo's scarce, guns are scarce, ooh, I found a new weapon, this is really exciting. No, I'll just buy that.
Yeah.
That takes away too much.
Yeah, definitely. Have you played any Dead Space?
I've not played any Dead Space at all. I've not really got an opinion on it. I just know about sort of the transition from Dead Space 1 to 2 to 3, adding the new sort of co-op style to it. Like, you've got your ally, and that sort of ruined the first theme of Dead Space.
First theme was bad.
Right, so moving on. Fist of the North Star, Ken's Rage 2. I don't think that...
Is that the thing you showed me where it's just a guy beating
that is the thing I showed
people?
you. Yeah, where it's like guys punching people in half.
It's like Dynasty Warriors, but like...
Yeah, it's Dynasty Warriors,
crazier.
except you can flick your finger and destroy about 7 units. It's based on an anime, which is Fist of the North Star.
It's been that GIF comes from.
If anybody's seen the kind of GIF of the opening the haystack and it's Spider-Man's face, that's from Fist of the North Star, but it didn't have Spider-Man in it. But yeah, no.
Would have been better with Spider-Man.
Yeah. Fist of the North Star would be better with Spider-Man. But yeah, no. So Ken's Rage 2 is out. It's pretty much the same as the first one. If anybody's played it, or seen it, or heard of it, the only difference is like an abundance of characters. So they've. I can't remember exactly how many, but they've got like over twice as many as the first game, which is a drastic improvement, and everybody seems to be relatively different. But it's...
How does the game work? Like, how does it flow? What genre is it?
Hack and slash, but it's basically is just Dynasty Warriors. It's that kind of formula.
It's like a hero and then thousands of like...
Yeah, like you play as a
killed.
single hero, but there's loads and loads of units that die very quickly. But yeah, no, don't get me wrong, I'm not bigging it up greatly here, but I do think it is really, really cool. I think it's really fun, it's really interesting. But then again, I like playing as an overpowered badass who can punch 9 guys in the face with his, like, not even his whole fist. I think that's a really, really cool concept. And I would suggest like somebody goes and looks it up because it's insane. But yeah, right. Scribblenauts Unlimited is out on Wii U and 3DS this week.
No, it's not. It's been delayed.
Oh no!
Nice research, Dave.
Nice research, me. Yeah. Oh, why is it
was
delayed?
2 days ago. But only in Europe. It's out in America already.
Right,
and
okay.
It's out on Steam, so you can buy it on PC.
Yeah,
Is it any different than
played it on Steam.
other?
You can't buy it for Wii U yet.
It is different
Or
than the
3DS.
other.
Is it
Yeah,
just added new stuff, or is it?
yeah. I don't think there is any. Well, there's no.
And there's also
the
no
concept
new
of the
release
game.
date.
Yeah, the concept of the game doesn't means that you can't actually have anything added on, so to say,
Okay, yeah.
because it is a creation.
So it's pretty much
game,
just like a port
so-
of the...
Yeah.
Well, not a port, but same sort of...
Well, yeah, but no. Well, I didn't. I think I did my research like 3 days ago for this, so that'll explain why I had no idea. Not keeping up with it, Dave. But yeah, no. Scribblenauts Unlimited is really cool. I've played it on PC. It was really, really fun. Really, like I've played the other Scribblenauts games, and they're so cool. I just like the idea that you can give a monocle to a T-Rex and then make him fight Cthulhu. It's just an amazing game.
So for anyone looking for it on the Wii U and the 3DS, you'll just have to wait for an unknown period of time.
Yeah, when my tears stop, so can yours, and we can finally play together on Wii U.
Do you think
That's a lovely sentiment, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
Do you think the experience will change much on the Wii U? Like, obviously with the gamepad, you'll be able to do things such as type with a stylus rather than a keyboard.
Yeah, no, like, well, one of the things is that you can create certain things. You can create objects.
Can
so
you
you
not
can
do that in the PC version?
Yeah, no, but I mean, that'll be much easier with a drag and drop on
I
with the
suppose
stylus
that
and
makes
stuff. But there's not really any changes as far as I've seen.
Yeah.
I don't think there needs to be. It's
I
a really cool
playing
game.
it on the gamepad would be quite fun as well.
Yeah,
Just,
yeah.
But
And
then
like-
again, also you can play it on your 3DS on the go.
Yeah, cool.
Has it got compatibility, like,
Yeah.
or in any way like transferring saves or something?
I'm not too sure. I don't like. I haven't looked into the connection between the two, but like.
I
Yeah,
think,
no,
I
it
think
looks really
Monster
cool.
Hunter to be the first game to have that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I do, like Scribblenauts sounds like it would do something like that purely because, I mean, it can't be that it won't like if the 3DS version is the exact same as the Wii U version, it would make sense to be able to transfer your states or something.
Yeah, other than a 3D function.
Yeah.
But
yeah, 3D function in that 2D game. It's gonna be real helpful.
But yeah, no. So that's coming sometime. I was hoping this week, but now I have to cry. Botanicula. Collector's Edition. I can't pronounce it. I can't pronounce it.
Addiction is it as well.
Yeah, right. It's the Collector's Edition. Is out this week in Europe. Not really much to say on that.
Is that the funky plant one?
The funky plant one.
The funky plant
it
one.
is. That's the one you're thinking of.
Okay.
That's a good term for it.
It's so trippy. It's so weird. It's so awesome.
Yeah.
But it's still visually stunning.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. No,
Absolutely.
like,
Beautiful.
New with the collector's edition.
I don't know.
Good.
No. I will explain why I don't know in about like 30 seconds probably once everybody's
your
finished with their
favourite
final
reason?
thoughts of. I can't even pronounce it. Like, does anybody have?
Botanacula.
Has anybody played it?
Dracula,
here?
but
I have not played it, no.
Botan Dracula.
Spectacular.
I've never played it, but I've watched a couple of videos.
I think I
on
watched-
it, 'cause
yeah, I watched a few videos.
yeah, it looked kind of cool. But I don't know. Watching the videos, I was like, that's such a cool art style, and it looks like a little bit of a fun game. But what do you do?
Yeah, so I don't know.
Like you just kind of click on stuff a lot.
It looks like Spore on drugs.
Yeah, but it just like it just seems like a point and click adventure, but you're not
Going anywhere?
You're not going. You're just kind of climbing around a tree. It's weird. I mean, it looks cool, and I'd probably play it, but it's just so weird.
So yeah, so if you feel enthralled to play this game from that description there, the funky plant one, go out and the collector's edition is out now.
Is it out on Steam, or is it a box
yeah.
copy? Or
I think that it's a box copy on the collector's edition,
I'll
but I'm
probably-
going to assume if there's any
In
added
fact,
is it out on
on
like
Steam
PlayStation
anyway,
3
so-
and things like that, or is it out just
You'll-
PC?
I think it's just PC.
Yeah,
I think it is, yeah. I think I'm going to assume that with the collector's edition you'll get things like a soundtrack and
yeah.
like you usually do with most collector's editions.
It's just
And
weird they're releasing it so late. But was it digital distribution only before, and then they
I think it
decided
was,
to
yeah.
release
PC
it
probably
so-
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, right. So the reason that I'm unprepared today is Terra Online has gone free to play. Oh my god.
Big smiles across my face anyway.
Yeah.
I am a massive MMO fan. Sort of grew up with MMO games, so I'm excited to see that Terra is going free to play because I'm too cheap as a student to pay for subscriptions and all this sort of thing. And it's good that they're following other MMOs on going free to play because they are becoming more popular again.
Yeah.
It's not just if you've got a World or Warcraft in your name, then you're allowed to charge people for your for your product. So
Yeah.
it's good to see Terra following that model.
So trying to keep
And
it
taking a
as
better
a-
route than Old Republic, because Old Republic went
Oh,
free to
yeah,
play, but it's
yeah.
like massive. Like
free to play, but you can't do anything.
You can't level above like level 15. Well,
pay £15
Yeah.
to
It's
take
like-
a step forward, kind of thing.
yeah,
So it's
tons of
completely-
pay to win items. But
Completely, everything's
it
free.
seems
There's
to be
no
the only
limits.
thing that you lose.
In Terra,
Yeah.
in Terra,
It seems to be the only thing you gain if you buy it is you get more Terra slots and some access
mounts
to
and
more
stuff, and
items. But
you
it's
get
more
like a giant lion thing.
it's more like show off items rather than actually.
Yeah. Like as far as I've seen, and I've played without sleep for a while, there's no difference gameplay wise from a pay to play or free to play.
That sounds good.
The game, I'm gonna try and keep it brief. It's gonna be hard, but yeah. So the game is absolutely stunning visuals, like completely brilliant. The way I look at it is that's how Final Fantasy XIV should have looked. That's exactly how it should have looked. That's how I wanted it to look. But I'm loving Terra. The gameplay is really, really interesting. The gameplay is so in depth. Like the combat is very tactical, very fast paced. It's following a kind of hack and slash theme
Yeah, it's somewhere
But
between a MMO sort of
and a hack and
traditional
slash.
combat.
Yeah, it's really weird.
It's fun though. It's
Oh yeah,
quite different.
brilliant.
It's different.
Like you have a dodge mechanic. I love that. I haven't seen a dodge mechanic since Raiders, but Raiders kind of
yeah, Raiders
went up
was-
for a little bit for like
yeah.
3 days and then stopped. Like steady decline of people playing it, but yeah, no. So brilliant. The combat is fantastic. You have a stamina bar. Well, some characters have a stamina, but there is a distinctive difference between every class, and there are different attributes to each race, and you can.
The races are quite. They're not
it's so customizable.
Yeah.
I think
And the races aren't as generic as most MMOs are.
Yeah, most MMOs that I've seen is kind of you can play as a human or a slightly different human. that's the whole premise of it. Cat people or a panda. You don't get a panda in this.
You get a weird fox thing.
It's a tanuki thing. It's really cool.
And you get weird cat children.
There's a big man made of rocks.
Yeah, and they devil people and.
They're not cat children, they're bunny children.
Don't
you know the difference between cats and rabbits?
I saw they had
Come
ears.
on.
Does the man made of rocks have stamina bar?
I don't think he does. No, I don't think he does. Well, I think that it's
maybe
dependent on class.
Bar that he's not.
I know that Neil's
Rave like 10 years. Oh god.
Neil's playing as one of the bigger, bulkier characters in the game, and you don't have a stamina bar. You have everything uses your MP to You can dodge, but you have to beat the hell out of somebody to dodge it.
Smack stuff.
Yeah, so there's just so much depth to it.
It's really fun.
Questing isn't it doesn't seem
big as well.
Repetitive. The game as well is massive. It's empty just now though.
It went free to play on Wednesday, I think.
Yeah, please, dear God, everybody play this game because it is quite empty. But that's a good thing right now, because if you get in now, it means that you can kind of.
I think half the people who are only a day old as well. So
and the people who usually spend days farming the weak monsters at the start of the game haven't appeared yet, so you can still play the game quite smoothly just now.
And you have a guild as well.
Well, we're making a guild. We're in the process of making
a guild
guild
ever.
We haven't even named it yet.
I think it should be the Amberglass Guild.
I think we should call it the Amberglass.
God.
There you go.
Guild.
Let's to buy it.
That's free to play.
It's free to play, Max.
You don't need to buy anything.
I want
for
to get
anything.
the special stuff.
I wish I'd bought it. I wish I'd bought it because we were running about.
Yeah, you can
I
think it was a physical copy purchase. I can't bother changing it now. I'm high enough level that it's irrelevant.
Can you not just
you can't buy
say give them £15 and then they just give
you can upgrade to premium account.
Alright.
Oh yeah. Actually, I could do that. I'll have a look anyway. But yeah, basically, so we were running about for the first hour and noticed that there were a bunch of people on massive white lions just riding about the countryside. And we didn't get any, but we got cool ass horses.
Yeah,
you got a massive horse.
Yeah,
or donkeys.
Your
Can't
horse
tell.
scales your character size. Your character's massive, so my horse is twice the size of David's.
Compensating.
Right. Well, on the topic of MMOs, Hunted Cows. On the topic of MMOs, Hunted Cow Studios, based in Edinburgh, they've got a browser MMO built on Java called Eldivan. I think that's how you pronounce it. Eldivan, something like that. Right. Yeah.
I can't even pronounce the
Botanicular.
Tarantula.
Yeah, so that's in the process of going into closed beta on the 9th of March, so you can register on their website and sign up for that. It looks pretty good for anyone that's again I talk about growing up with MMOs. For anyone that played RuneScape, it's very similar to that, obviously because they're both built on Java, and it looks
my child to RuneScape.
Yeah, I think
I'm an isolated
anyone that had the
because of RuneScape.
Anyone that had the internet between the ages of 12 and 16 lost their childhood to RuneScape.
I had a lowland countryside Scotland internet, so it wasn't really fast enough to do anything. I had to be 10 minutes for anything.
I grew up in
the good thing about Eldivan is that RuneScape's been around for 10, 11 years now, and there's been no competitors to it, and now people are starting to think, well, maybe RuneScape's getting a bit old. A way that MMOs started to make similar games to World of Warcraft to try and tap into that market because it wasn't getting any sort of competition. So now Eldivan's come about, it's trying to tap into the market of RuneScape and trying to offer a fresh experience to the browser MMO genre.
Yeah.
Max, you're not looking very
Hmm?
sold by the
My
idea.
eyes are just glassing over. I don't know. I don't really like MMOs in general.
Mhm.
Because you don't like people.
Basically, no, it just especially RuneScape. I mean, I just didn't really enjoy it when I was younger because I don't know, not so much now, but especially when I was younger, like you just looked at something and you were like, that looks terrible. I never want to play that ever again. But it wasn't even that. Like when I was actually playing it, I don't know, the whole thing just seemed terrible. It just all seemed so pointless. Like you come out, you're level 1, you got to kill some chickens.
Game over.
Just a real just spend my time doing something else.
I hope like Hunty have created something new for the experience.
I think you kind of have to.
Yeah,
To kind of approach that kind of game.
yeah, especially for people like Max that have played RuneScape.
Max.
I'm
Yeah,
not gonna play it.
well, you played RuneScape and you never sort of got into it, so hopefully this will be a chance for you to be sold.
My main problem with RuneScape is the advert. It's very misleading.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
the advert's
The
terrible.
battle is not like that, and it doesn't look that good.
Just waiting for a RuneScape
And I'm
film
pretty
to be
sure,
in the
can
works
you
now.
even move? Can you even is there even like a 3-dimensional layer in RuneScape? Can you like go upstairs and jump down from balconies? And
No,
it's
not really.
It's not even a wide direction in the game. They're showing leaping. You can't even jump. Man, nah.
Well, saying that.
You have to imagine the Y direction.
Yeah.
You just grew up with no imagination.
So there's
If you're
Do you think you're
two-dimensional,
into
you
games
can't,
industry?
you can't imagine the third dimension.
anyway. So there's a couple of events on in the next week or two. For those within the Dundee area, we have an animation jam between the 15th and 17th of February. It's hosted at Abertay University.
Best university ever.
The best university ever, yes. So you can sign up for that just now.
This podcast is sponsored by advertising.
More than Aberdeen University stuff in Aberdeen University.
We also have a drop-in and play event at the Dundee Contemporary Arts on Sunday the 10th of February between 3 o'clock and 5 o'clock. And that's in celebration of the release of Wreck-It Ralph.
I told you it wasn't out. Is it just coming out soon?
It's
out
out
on Monday.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
out
okay.
Monday, yeah.
I told you it wasn't out. Lied to me.
This is happening the day before Wreck-It Ralph's
Oh, okay.
I
released.
think it's out on Monday.
Yeah, I think it
The
is.
DCA gets it on Monday, so it might have been out for like 10 years.
Yeah, I think like American.
Oh yeah,
Sort of
America
they've had it.
America had it for a month or something. before
Yeah.
we even
Yeah.
got
So
to look at it.
if you're around the area, there'll be a couple of game developers from the local community down at the DCA to show off their games for you to try, and for sort of the younger generation, they can sign up for the Code Club, which is a new initiative to try and influence younger people to learn how to make games at a younger age. I looked into it. There is no age limit.
Oh god, I didn't sign
It just
up for
said it just says as long as you're sort of a young age. I imagine that's about
You look about
that.
12.
I'll pretend I'm about 13.
yeah. I think it's about
20
12, 13.
20 in a month. And, no, 12.
12 or 13 is the age limit for that. But yeah, that sounds like a good event. So if you're free on Sunday at 3 to 5 o'clock, you should definitely check that out. A wee reminder to sign up for the Game in Scotland event that's happening on the 9th of March as well.
You need to remind me to do that.
Yeah, I need to remind Max as well. Have you guys signed up for
Yes.
it? Yeah. Right.
Yeah, of course.
Excellent. So Max, you need to catch up
I need
with
to
that.
remind me as well.
I think I was here with you when I signed
Yeah,
up.
exactly. Come on, guys, you're letting the team down.
Team
And
Amberglass.
again,
Fuck yeah, we're like,
and there's a party wrap-up sort of session for the Scottish Game Jam that's being led by the International Game Development Association. That's being held on the 13th of February at 7:30 in Glasgow. So
Admiral Bar.
at the Admiral Bar, yes.
Best name.
Best venue ever.
It's a fantastic bar, by the way. No, you can play the games that were made within the Scottish Game Jam that we talked about last week. So you can definitely check that out if you're within the Glasgow area.
Matt, you're supposed to segue.
What?
You're supposed to
You can segue from that.
Yeah, I'm segueing.
So,
Right.
that's fine.
Take your time.
So, taking a look at the bigger picture,
Oh, sneaking it in there again.
starting with some big news that I suppose it was Tuesday or something, maybe Monday, as early as
The
that.
start of the week.
But start of the week at the event, some kind of event. I've forgotten the name
The
of it.
event.
The J.J. Abrams and Gabe Newell had a panel together talking about not only J.J. Abrams possibly making either a Portal or Half-Life film or both, but also possibly making games together. Games. I'm not sure, but like just a kind of partnership. Apparently, they'd been talking together, just like Abrams and Valve. Abrams and like Gabe Newell just said it's time to stop talking and actually do something about it. So
He's not alone anymore.
if they
Wait, so Jamie
if they actually- if they-
suggested doing something rather than talking about it.
well, I think it might be Newell who was
Yeah.
suggesting doing something rather than just talking about it. But like if they've already been talking about it and it's now into like the doing something about it phase, then we might see more stuff happening quite quickly.
Yeah.
In terms of casting, who do you think would play Gordon Freeman?
I think I should play Gordon Freeman.
I saw an amazing post on Reddit the other day about that.
Hugh Laurie.
Hugh Laurie, yeah.
Yeah.
What was it?
And,
House Life.
House Life.
Yeah.
Oh, what's his name from Breaking Bad? Should totally do.
Yeah, that's another post was
That
on
would
Reddit.
Brian Finnerwell.
Yeah.
yeah.
Walter White,
The guy
the guy who
I
played.
think that
Craze
he
something.
already looks like Gordon Freeman
Well, you
in
need to grow
Breaking
his
Bad.
hair.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
yeah.
But no, yeah, something like that. Shell, who do you think would play Shell?
I could play Shell.
Gordon Freeman's already taken that.
So at this point, J.J.
got
Abrams
breasts.
is pretty much the king of the nerds because he's doing Star Wars, Star Trek, Half-Life, and Portal.
That's a good point.
So he's like in charge of everything.
yeah,
He could destroy.
He
everything.
could destroy
Yeah.
all. Like he could make so many nerds
He could cause-
so
yeah.
angry.
He-
He's gonna wipe
Yeah.
out.
He's like the Pope of nerds just
Yeah,
now.
couldn't be. There literally probably isn't one kind of gamer out there or just general movie buff or like lover of science fiction and things who wouldn't be offended if all these movies came out and they were terrible. He would offend so many people, probably the whole world in some way.
If they're
Oh my
not,
God.
not
so
even
much lens
I know. I mean, I don't really care that much about Star Trek. I've never really have, but like Star Wars, Portal, Half-Life. That'd make me so sad if they were bad films.
We just need to
Just
wait
as long
and
as
see.
like Siler doesn't make an appearance in Star Wars, I think that he's a good Spock, but he's not good enough.
He has impressive eyebrows. though.
He does have.
Well, Spock
the-
isn't
the
in
pers-
Star Wars.
No, I'm saying
So-
Star Trek. Like, if
Oh,
he's doing
right.
both,
I was
then
gonna say. Wait,
he-
I thought you said.
Oh.
I hope Siler doesn't make an
appearance in Star Wars because he's appeared in
Alright.
Star Trek already.
Well,
I thought
why
that
would
in
that-
Heroes, I thought that like Heroes defined the actor, and I can't see him as any other role. So I didn't like the Star
I
Trek.
forgot
film.
to say match because his
your
eyebrows
own,
were shaved for
like-
being Spock.
That's my own downfall for
Yeah,
language.
that's-
I'm sorry. I'm sleep deprived. Terra came
No,
out.
no, not your own downfall for language. That's your own kind of like if you can't see past is like playing one character.
It's your
Yeah.
own fault, David.
Yeah,
Like-
it's the same reason that I couldn't watch any other film with Daniel Radcliffe in it.
Same reason you don't like Dead Space 2 and Fable 2.
Because I'm a hipster.
Yeah.
That's how it is.
But I also the main thing that I love about this is Abrams was talking about making games, but he wasn't talking about making games in terms of I've got this amazing story planned out. He was talking about how we have to make games in a different way that you make films, which makes me really happy because it means that it's not like he's just going to come out with an amazing script and then Gabe Newell says that you can't play that. He said he understands that some things are better expressed as films. Some TV shows should have been films. Some films should have been TV shows. Some songs should have been poems rather than songs. Like he says that you have to understand what you're creating for, what medium. And he says especially with Valve, the importance of characters and characterization and character development is a big part. And and it's somewhat like more important than the story itself. The way the characters react to everyone and things like that. So I'm really looking forward to seeing the game they make in when it's released in 14 years or something.
14 years.
Probably. In fact, no, it'll be the first in a series, so that'll be released.
How long is
in
it
2
since
months
Half-Life
from
2 came out?
5 years.
5 years. 5 years. 5 years. Only 5 years.
Oh wait,
I thought it was in 2004 or something that came out. More than 5, I'm sure.
I thought
What, Half-Life
1
Half-Life
came out
2?
Half-Life
2
1 came out
was
in 1997.
next
Really?
gen. Half-Life 2 I think
Half-Life 2 was ported to Xbox.
Yeah, no, I think it
That
was
was like a year-
2005.
That was like a year or two after it was already out. I'm sure it came out much
Yeah,
earlier.
no, I'm sure it was 2005. 2006 was the next gen kind of era.
I thought it was
okay.
5 years since
So-
Half-Life 2 came out.
Yeah.
It's like what, 7, 8?
It's a little bit more than that.
Wow.
It's Half-Life
But,
2 is quite old.
Yeah.
But I think that with episode 1 and 2, it's changed that. It's like it's made it seem more recent because they released things afterwards.
Yeah.
So,
But yeah, so I'm really like that seems like a really good partnership. Like that seems like it could work out, and I'm like looking forward to seeing what
Yeah.
comes of that. I can't imagine that going wrong, to be honest. Next on the list, like that's John Schaefer, the lead designer of Civ 5. He unveiled, I think it was a few days ago, maybe as long as a week ago again, start of the week, a new studio, him and a few folk making a new game called At the Gates. Basically, it's a turn-based strategy. In fact, it shares quite a few mechanics I noticed with Civ 5.
Yeah.
And basically it's based in the downfall of the Roman civilization. It's not like Civ where you go through 3000 BC straight along. But basically it's the downfall of the Roman civilization, and you play one of a few barbarian states trying to not only barter with the Romans, because at the start you're very weak and you kind of need to barter with other barbarians and maybe not start any wars, but essentially you're trying to become big enough to destroy the Roman Empire.
right.
I don't know. I mean, right now it's just Kickstarter. So they've got the concept and things down. They're saying that the bartering things will be, you'll be like other barbarians, you'll Attila the Hun, and all these kind of things. Like that's who you will play, and then you'll have to essentially steamroll over the Romans and destroy their great empire. Basically, he didn't say straight away, but a few days before the release of this new project, he posted a blog about why strategy games have lost their way and what they should be, all this kind of stuff. And a lot of the things he said about strategy games, halfway through you're playing it maybe takes 6 hours to play a game of a strategy game, and 4 hours in you're just like victory's assured at this point, and all you're just doing is sitting back and waiting for it to happen, and it just gets a bit boring. And he was saying another couple of things, which I was basically reading this and going, he's kind of describing Civilization 5. So I don't know whether or not
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Civilization 5 was amazing.
No, Civilization
and
5.
If he brings out the game and it's exactly the same, I'm still gonna.
Civilization 5 was amazing. I'm not disputing that fact, but it's the fact I do get where he's coming from. You're playing a game, and it does get to a point where, I mean, to be honest, for me it starts around the 1800s, 1800s.
Yeah, you can
you're playing,
easily see who's going to win
and
the
you
game.
can easily see whether, first of all, you're going to win, which it usually is if you're playing against computers,
Unless you're me.
And then it just becomes more and more apparent, and at that point you're just clicking next turn.
That's
turn,
why
and then it comes up with
instead
oh, you need to pick research. I don't care that, and it just it loses. I mean, fair enough, the first 4 hours is fun. I mean, but I restart games of Civ, and sometimes when I save it, I just start a new game. I've got tons of saves on Civ that are half done, and I just don't load them again. But basically, their game, because it's based it doesn't base across years. One turn isn't going to be 5 years or whatever. It bases across, I don't know if it even does months. But what happens is the world changes with the seasons.
Alright, okay.
So lakes freeze over and you lose your fishing lakes.
It's kind of like Shogun
Tundra
did
comes
that.
down and freezes and all this kind of stuff. Also, things like food like in the winter months will be scarce and like your people can starve. All these kind of things, and sometimes you have to. You can move, like whereas Civ, if you build a city, it's there.
Yeah.
You can move your tribe and stuff because sometimes it's just impossible to live in that location. The world itself becomes hostile. The actual resource system seems a lot more geared towards management and stuff. It seems a lot more complicated in a few ways. Graphically, it looks a bit like Civilization 3, but that's what he openly said. He said that graphics sometimes get in the way of a proper strategy experience, which, to be honest, is true because, I mean, you see professional StarCraft players, StarCraft 2, they turn all of the settings straight down and it looks like StarCraft 1, and it just makes more sense to them and they can play it easier that way. I mean, me, I'm not that much of a hardcore gamer. I play with all the visuals all pretty and all the particle effects and stuff, but they don't want that. That just gets in the way of how much clicking they need to do. So, like in a lot of the things he's saying, like, it sounds like a really good game. Right now, I think from now today, it's got 26 days left on Kickstarter, and it's been funded 27. Well, the last time I checked, 27,000 out of 40,000. So it's close to being funded. I strongly urge that you at least go and watch the video, and if you like the look of it, then fund it. I think to actually get a copy of the game, I think you need to pay $20. I think it might be in dollars. $20 might be as much as 30, which is a bit annoying. It's the same kind of thing as my problem with Prison Architect. Is like I bought the alpha, but it was like it was $30 for the alpha, and obviously I get the full game when it comes out. But whereas Minecraft, you buy the alpha €5, and then when it went into beta, it was €10, and then when it was finally released, it was €15.
I
Like,
finally
it made
bought
more
Minecraft
sense.
for the first time last week.
Bit
of mistake.
But yeah, you should definitely go check it out.
Yeah.
I mean, are any you guys like really like? I mean, Dave likes Civ 5.
Me and Dave have a massive game of Civ 5 going on just now, so.
Yeah, we do. We've been
I mean,
playing for days.
It does sound good. It does sound like a twist, and to be honest, I don't know. I do play a lot of Civ 5, and it does get to the point where like I'll stop playing it for like a month,
I have
2
done
months,
a lot when you start a game.
and then and then you come back, and then you'll play a whole game, and you'll sit there for 8 hours, and you're like, why haven't I eaten anything? I mean, it is a good game, but I just hope this like, you know, captures, keeps me immersed just as well.
Yeah.
Okay, Rayman Legends, and in fact Ninja Gaiden, Razor's Edge are no longer Wii U exclusives.
Why?
In terms of Rayman Legends, basically Ubisoft basically just got a ton of tweets, emails, all this kind of stuff saying that with, like, you know, Xbox and PlayStation 3 owners, and they're just like, why can't we have this game on our console?
Because
And
the Wii U needs more games.
And basically, like, the way I'm going on Origins. I haven't seen a lot of work on Legends, but
Legends are
compared,
good.
We played it.
Yeah.
in
It's
terms of
amazing.
Origins, like, what you do is 4 people play on this main screen, 1 person plays on the gamepad, just like New Super Mario Bros. U, where the 1 person on the gamepad is basically helping the other people.
Yeah, I don't understand how it worked when we played it. It
It's
seemed
not
to
a
be
full-on.
like that.
It's not.
It's not a straight port.
It's well, the thing is, when they're porting it back to Xbox and PlayStation 3, they obviously won't get the gamepad exclusive. Like because they can't give the gamepad.
They could possibly port it as a
Smart
PS3 Vita or an Xbox and Smart Glass compatibility thing.
I don't think they're going to do that.
No.
Because no one owns a Vita and no one's ever going to use Smart Glass.
It would sort of
I like Smart Glass, it's a cool idea, but no one's ever going to use it.
well, and
Vita
the
is
way
really cool,
that
but
Because
nobody
no one owns a
has
fucking
them.
tablet.
and the way that Rayman Legends was obviously made for the gamepad, that would sort of
Well, no,
ruin
that's-
this. It
that's
would ruin
the
the
thing, though, it
experience.
isn't.
Yeah.
Like, the point of Rayman, like, that's what I'm saying. It's not made for the gamepad. Like, it was made for the Wii U, yes, where 4 people would be using the controller, and it's like, yeah, we can all play and have fun and play Mario. But like, if the 1 person doesn't want to use the gamepad, then they can't not complete the level. It's just the fact that the gamepad adds a little bit, like a kind of 4th dimension to the gameplay. You can help or hinder your friends, and just have like a laugh. all this kind of stuff. Same as like the Wii with New Super Mario Bros. U. By tapping the gamepad, you can.
Neil,
What?
we've tried this,
We've
and
tried playing Super Mario,
everything
yeah.
you're describing is
Yeah.
Neil.
You can basically just
No,
tap the screen.
I held
and
us up. You were ruining it. You're terrible.
like in New Super Mario Bros. U, you tap the screen and it creates a block. And the block's there for like 4 seconds or something, as
Yep.
long as that, whatever.
And you can fight bosses, but you can stop. boss
Yeah,
sessions.
exactly. And you can just do things like that. Like, but as soon as they port it to the PlayStation 3, they'll just remove the gamepad aspect of it, and it'll just be using the controller. Like, they wouldn't do it if it wasn't going to be an easy port. But the point is, it wouldn't make. I mean, at least for Ubisoft, it wouldn't make sense for them not to port it. With so many people wanting the game, why wouldn't they?
Yeah. Razor's
What
Edge, I
doesn't
can
make
understand.
sense to me. No, Razor's Edge doesn't make sense.
Razor's
because
Edge
Nintendo
was
are the publisher.
yeah. No, Razor's
And
Edge.
now it's
The problem,
being
right?
ported to PlayStation
The problem
3
is
and Xbox Series X.
Razor's Edge is almost entirely a carbon copy of
Yeah,
Ninja Gaiden 3,
it's the
right?
same as
Ninja Gaiden 3
Armored
was not it was not received well.
Mm.
They took out every bit of gore which was the primary focus of Ninja Gaiden. They took out like so much depth from the game and made a really cinematic experience, which wasn't what people wanted. They wanted another Ninja Gaiden game, something hard as nails. It'll kick your ass for days. Then when you complete it, you feel like you've actually achieved something. Other than Ninja Gaiden 3, which is like, oh, a quick time event. 7 steps later, another quick time event. Eventually, it gets boring.
Yeah.
So Razor's Edge, I can actually understand. I
Nintendo
wish
are the
I wish it
publisher.
didn't. I wish it didn't happen, but I can kind of get
Nintendo are
that.
the publisher.
Yeah, but
I don't even know how that happens.
yeah,
But-
but yeah, no. So Razor's Edge, I can understand people wanting it. I can understand like
You know,
the
I
reason
can, no,
the reason
I
for
can
them
understand
wanting
people
it.
wanting it. Like, if I had an Xbox, I'd want Little Big Planet on my Xbox. But Sony aren't going to release it. Like, Sony aren't going to release their published
Yeah, no.
game
But I
to
mean,
Xbox.
I mean
Like,
the
what I don't understand is Nintendo actually releasing it.
Nintendo-
Like Rayman, like Ubisoft have no real loyalties to Nintendo. Yes, they've been amazing with the Wii U and they've been like releasing a lot of games on it, but they have no real loyalties. They could release whatever games they want with any console they want. But with Nintendo actually publishing this version of Ninja Gaiden, and they like I don't even know if I'm assuming Nintendo let them. I don't even know how that part of the
They might
business
have
works.
a sort of
probably
licensing
a-
agreement
yeah.
where,
Yeah.
depending on how many units are sold in, say, the PS3 or the Xbox, Nintendo gets some sort of
Cut.
return from it. Yeah.
Yeah,
So it
It
should be.
It might be the beginning of Nintendo.
I
porting
hope
games
so.
To other consoles.
I hope so.
But yeah, basically Ninja Gaiden Razor's Edge is the Batman Armored Edition of
Ninja Gaiden.
Ninja Gaiden 3.
Yeah.
Just
Uh,
going back on that a little bit. Maybe Nintendo have to port out in order for publishers to actually
Yeah,
use their hardware,
Nintendo
maybe.
has very
Yeah, I
much
suppose.
been an in-kept company,
yeah.
and they never really had any externally produced games.
Yeah.
And
They're
I
not
think-
exactly known for their
Yeah.
outsourcing.
and they are starting to do that now because they realise that they need it because there are
Yeah.
very limited
Well, I know that-
Nintendo.
Especially what you said
They're
last
starting-
week.
They're starting to join up and make other games like with other companies. Like fair enough, we're not going to see it, and it's not an actual game; it's an arcade game. But they're teaming up with. Is it Bandai? I don't know, but they're making a Mario Kart game with.
Yeah, it's Namco Bandai. I think.
Was it Bandai?
Yeah.
It's just an arcade title, but it means that you can play the Mario guys and the Namco guys.
I mean, especially like what you said last week about Nintendo is that they are so reliant, rather
Yeah.
than Sony and
Exact-
Microsoft,
no,
on the gaming
I
industry.
understand why. I can understand why, Nintendo would do it. I just don't understand why
They
They're
are.
fueling the
they're
competition.
starting with.
It seems like they're already starting to give up on the Wii U. Yeah, they're starting to port.
I don't know. I don't know
games.
why they're starting with Ninja Gaiden. Basically, like
It's better that than Mario.
What?
Says it's better that than Mario.
Well, the Ninja Gaiden community is a lot larger than you'd think.
Yeah.
Suppose.
It's a lot larger than it's a lot larger than I thought. And I'm a Ninja Gaiden fan. I think that the games are brilliant. I've played them all, and
You're not liking that other people like it.
no, I'm a hipster. Ninja Gaiden's rubbish now. No, like it's got a massive following, particularly in Japan. Actually, it's
Well, I think has a massive following in Japan.
Yep.
Just everything.
Right. But yeah, so games consoles.
Okay, and then finally, well, this would just be quick, but
The Ouya.
the
It's
Ouya,
like, who's coming out?
Ouya's coming
is
out.
being
I was having a
released.
look at the
An
Ouya
actual-
yesterday
an
as well.
actual release date is June.
Yep.
We got a date.
A release month.
A release month is June. They've already shipped dev consoles, and they've had like the Ouya challenge and all these kind of things with all these
Looks pretty cool.
companies making games. And
Like,
I'm interested in it. I don't.
I'm interested.
I'm gonna buy
I'm
it, but I'm still interested in watching what happens to it.
I'm happy with the size of it. I think that it's
Kind of like
really
watching a nuclear explosion.
cool thing.
It's interesting to watch, but I don't want to be involved. In it.
you don't know if you want to be involved in a nuclear explosion. Cool. Could be cool.
How you going to know if you don't
Yeah.
experience it?
Yeah.
Drive them once.
Well, let's be honest. It's probably gonna be really, really warm.
I've never had a threesome, and I know
Yeah,
it. Won't.
actually.
But
Cut that.
What do you say?
Nothing. But yeah, no, the
So-
Ouya does look pretty cool.
I like the look of it. Bought one.
You've bought one? Did you say yeah?
Bought one in the Kickstarter.
How much are they?
It's £100.
The £100 console. That's how it's been marketed.
I think.
Yeah.
Well,
The $99
it's-
console.
Yeah, it's a $99.
Wait, how do you mean $99 or
Come-
£100?
Sorry, no,
Well,
I said it in pounds.
Ah,
But
yeah.
it's like-
$100.
It's $100. They're marketing it. It's the well.
Okay.
It's
Compare-
99. It's
$99.
not 100. It's 99. Right? Be
May
clear.
as well be $100.
In the same way that
20
99.
pence.
Yeah, it's like the same way that 99p is a pound. Regardless,
it's like
you are not
£60
going to use that
it's like
penny for
£60
anything.
For a console.
Yeah,
That's not too bad.
so it's kind of cool.
Yeah, basically, the most important thing about it is because it runs Android. Imagine what that means. Like, fair enough, your phones and things, they are getting powerful, but Android's still very limited because it's all casual games. People play them on the train, people play them while they're walking, all this kind of stuff. It's not a real experience. But Android itself, like the SDK, the development kit you can use to build stuff,
Yeah.
is quite complicated, and you can do a lot of cool stuff with it.
Yeah,
so
it was-
with extra hardware, the Ouya, and also a non-casual play style, which is sitting on your sofa, watching on your big screen, you will get some really deep experiences on Android. And then it gets to the point where phones start catching up, because the Ouya, yes, it's cheap, which means it's not that powerful, right? But it's more powerful than your phone. When phones start to catch up, then you get to the point where you're transferring your save from your Ouya to your phone, you're playing your FPS on the
Yeah.
go, and you're on the train. You're eventually, like, this is what Gabe Newell was talking about with things like the Steam Box, where you pick it up, and fair enough, like, the Ouya, well, Valve was probably talking about the Steam Box, like, ages before the Ouya was announced, but like in terms of the Ouya, it's like the Android box. Like you could technically, it's so small, just pick it up as like a GameCube, take it to a hotel and play your games in the hotel and all this kind of things. It's the same with the Steam Box. Like that's the idea of the Steam Box. You play it on your computer, your big gaming computer, then you're like, oh, I'm off to Dubai. And you plug it into the hotel. You plug your little Steam Box in, which only has enough power and only has your games on it. And you're playing your games. Or you've got your like Razor's Edge thing where it's like got the handle and the tablet and all that kind of craziness, and that's another Steam Box. I mean, it is getting to the point where you'll just be able to pick up your gaming, you're playing it on your computer, and then just like Iron Man, Tony Stark style, flick it to your phone on your phone as you leave the house.
Yeah,
which would be awesome.
Like if
Can't wait
you
until I have Tony Stark's house.
if you don't have very much faith in the Ouya, I'd suggest going on YouTube and having a look at the performance tests, because it has produced some very nice visuals.
No, yeah, there's
for
a
what
lot
it
of
is
cool stuff
as well.
I mean, that's the thing, because Android's an established thing. Like with the Wii U, yeah, it's got power and things, but Nintendo are only now. Well, fair enough, it's not that old, but they're only now discovering the newest level of visuals. Like as game consoles increase, like if you look up PlayStation 2 game that was released on release and Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater, massive difference in visuals. You gain levels of visuals with the different the way you program and the way you gain these visuals. And Nintendo are only now finding the new level of visuals in their Wii U, but Android is already established. People already know how to get amazing visuals on your phone. Now we've got even more power. Let's put it on the big screen.
Yeah.
And then I'm looking forward to having a shot of it. I have no idea when it's going to turn up. I don't even know what's going on. I mean, I'll be in Lockhinch when it turns up on my mum's doorstep. I haven't told her.
It's going to be a nice surprise.
probably fit through the letterbox.
It'll come like do-it-yourself assembly sort of thing.
It's the perfect segue into discussion topic of the week.
Yeah,
Talk
if you
about-
don't want to
Talking about consoles.
Yeah.
So we're going to give some speculation on what we think might be in the next generation of consoles. So
Don't quote us on anything. We don't.
disclaimer.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
We,
no, quote us on it. Quote us on it.
No,
Exactly,
don't.
we're making them.
Nothing.
Lee, don't quote us on this. We,
Nothing.
our only listener.
Nothing has been
Red.
quoted. Nothing has been quoted. Just sort of rumored
Yeah.
features around the internet
until
on the
the
dirt
even-
sheet.
20th, apparently.
Yeah. Well, it's
Well,
for the
For
PlayStation.
3.
Yeah.
But Sony also said they wanted to see what Microsoft had to say first, so they might get to the 20th and go, oh.
Microsoft might do something in the 19th.
Might be a massive bluff.
Yeah, but no, no, why would Microsoft release first?
Yeah, I
That's
suppose.
the thing.
I hope that it's
So,
like you're
the
watching the
reason
PlayStation
Sony-
thing and Microsoft are like, we interrupt this broadcast.
The reason Sony wanted like to release, they originally said, oh, we don't want to release any information until Microsoft to release their information, because why would you, let your opponent see your hand before, before it's like
Unless they're really confident in what they've
extremely
got.
necessary. So unless they're really confident in what they've got, they're releasing it on the 20th, or Sony somehow know something that the rest of the world don't know in terms of Microsoft, and Microsoft are releasing some information on the 19th.
I'm just predicting
Either
like.
that, or they're just assuming that.
Well, I'm picturing just like Bill Gates breaking onto the screen like some kind of super villain, like on everybody's TVs around the world, just like sitting in a chair with a cat. The Xbox 720.
I like to
Bill Gates is Microsoft.
I like to picture Sony and Microsoft being like the Cola Wars between Pepsi and Coca-Cola, where they actually hire people to like kind of espionage and the other one's jumping it. Like they actually in the 80s, Pepsi would pay people to get hired by Coca-Cola and then find out their secrets. And that's how I like picturing that with Microsoft and Sony.
Do you know what would be amazing if the announcement was that Sony and Microsoft are making a console together
That would be amazing.
and they're just fucking over Nintendo?
I thought that you were gonna say it would be amazing if they announced they were making cola. If they were just like,
That'd be great. Yeah, so
Lovely salty taste.
What?
it looks like the new PlayStation name is going to be the Orbis.
Yeah.
I hope
Makes-
so.
it
It's
makes
a
sense.
badass
Awesome
name.
yeah.
It makes sense.
Orbit.
Although,
Yeah.
to be honest,
Orbis is it translates to circle. The Vita
Yeah.
and its
Oh,
life. So put it together. Circle.
I like
Latin.
the.
Yep.
But it might not work like that because everybody thought that the Nintendo Wii was going to be called the Nintendo Revolution,
Yeah.
and I think that was a kick-ass name. I think that the Wii should have been called the Nintendo.
Well, you don't know.
To be honest, I think that in terms of accessibility,
You should be called Nintendo Revolution. Sweet.
like no 70-year-old grandmothers would play a Nintendo Revolution. They
I
would-
don't, I
You-
don't
play the
understand
Wii,
why,
but
like, I don't know, like
it's
the
marketing.
Wii made sense, right? To be called the Wii with like crazy motion control. I don't know. It just looked like it looked,
I wish
like
you
a Nintendo Wii, right?
the,
I wish
the
you could
Wii
show the
U.
listeners that
doesn't
gesture.
look like a Nintendo Wii U. The Nintendo Wii U looks like they should have just called it like the Nintendo. It's
No, it-
definitely not shit.
No, the Wii U. The purpose is it's the Wii, but it's a personalized experience.
Yeah,
of the Wii.
I know,
it's the
but-
Wii for you.
I know, but I don't know.
That's
why
the
they
purpose
just
of the
called it,
name.
I
like-
don't get the spelling. I'm like,
No.
what? WII and then U. What?
Capital
No,
U.
they should just, I think they should have called it something else. I don't think they should have. I mean, I know the reason they called it the Wii U is because they wanted the Wii in it, because all your stuff from the Wii was compatible with it.
Yeah.
But they could have just told them that at a press conference and called it something cooler.
And in
Nintendo
terms of like
Revolution.
the release for the PS4, the PS Orbis, or whatever it's being
PlayStation
called,
Orbis.
yeah. I mean,
I want it to be Orbis.
we assume that they're
Also
going to
want
stick with the.
Xbox Infinity.
I want it to be called the Xbox Odin.
Oh my god.
Xbox
It
Allfather.
better not be called Xbox 720. If it's called that,
Nah, that would
I'm
be
not buying it. It makes no sense.
I mean, in terms
Turn around in
of
circles.
like marketing, the products and such, we're assuming that they're going to keep the Vita, which would make sense for the name being Orbis, but they might repackage the Vita if they're not going to stick with the name Orbis for
Yeah.
the PS4. It might just have been a link to show we're actually going to work on
Might be a
cross-platform.
project title.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So
To be honest,
that's assuming that the Vita is going to stay the Vita and
I
not.
think the
Yeah.
Vita needs. Well,
it
it's a bit
needs
late now,
repackaged. It
but
needs
needs
repackaged.
reiteration.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
yeah, I suppose
I don't
because
know,
it's
I like the technology behind the Vita, but there's just, I don't know, maybe in some ways there's a little bit, not so much too much technology behind it, but there's so much to do with it,
yeah.
and no games to exploit
I mean,
all of its features.
Uncharted did.
I understand the trackpad on the back.
I suppose, yeah.
I understand the trackpad on the back, but the way that personally I hold
There's a
my
trackpad on the
PS3.
back?
Yeah, there's a trackpad.
Yeah,
on the
the-
back.
Yeah, there's 2 touch
No,
screens.
like when they were
Your
marketing
touchscreen.
it, they marketed it with Uncharted because Uncharted was the only game at the time, and still is really,
Yeah.
that used all of the Vita's
I mean,
functions.
there is like a place for you to put your fingers, like in sort
Oh
of
my god,
grooves.
such a stupid.
Yeah, exactly. Like I hold the PSP or the Vita with my fingers completely
Almost
around
touching,
the
yeah.
back, so I'm always going to be touching the trackpad at the back, and that really put me off.
You need handles. That's
Yeah.
why I like the gamepad for the Wii U.
Yeah.
I like the kind of handle
The
that's at the
grips.
back. Yeah, grips. Just like a steering wheel. Because I almost found that because I have big hands. Like I'm a musician, I have like massive hands, massive like.
It's not because you're a
Like-
musician.
Well, no, it is. It's because
It's because you like,
so long,
yeah,
I
it's,
have like a
it's
giant
because you like
handspan.
food. Let's be honest.
Yeah, no, but
Stretching
like
your fingers is different, like having a big handspan. No, but like,
Yeah, no,
not
no,
because
that's-
you have massive hands.
No,
you
no.
were born and grew hands, and your hands just happen to be. Bigger
I
than
was
you.
born without hands
No,
and just sprouted
it's
them
not
out of
like-
nowhere.
It's not like you had tiny hands until you started playing guitar, and all of a sudden you have big
no,
hands.
like no. I mean that my hand span is quite big
Yeah.
because I like.
Not because-
well, no, okay,
You-
but
it's
it's
useful for-
influenced it in the same way that like
I'm a larger
can-
individual.
I'm a
and
larger
I have
individual.
the
I'm
fact
you
trying to
have-
find a
The fact you
nice
have a
way
large
of saying it.
handspan means you can play instruments better.
But yeah, no, right.
Other way
Anyway,
round.
Back to the topic.
yeah. Well, no, it's in the same way that sports players have like bigger hands. Their fingers
No,
get
but-
bigger because of conditioning.
Yeah, no, but
No,
It's
that's how it works.
It's an
That is-
evolution sort of
It
thing.
is that is
because your hands
actually
are
how
bigger,
it
that
works.
means it's easier for you to play guitar. It's not.
You evolve with your climate. So if you're
Yeah.
let's say because
because
we've started using like QWERTY keyboards and all that in the last 15,
They say
20
we're
years or
gonna have
whatever,
spatulate fingers.
we have longer fingers than our mum and dads or our ancestors or whatever.
We don't evolve while we're living.
Yes,
You
you
should-
do. We adapt.
You should use
Not-
that as a
not-
chat up line,
not
by the way.
while I'm alive.
Yeah.
I'm
No.
physically evolve.
Say like for
No, you do. You adapt, but
Listen.
it's in very minute ways.
right. Okay.
Oh,
This is
well,
this is
so
all
no
getting
wings
cut,
or-
right?
Yeah, you're
So-
not gonna sprout wings.
This is all
Damn
getting
it.
cut, but say for argument's sake, like you've lived in Alloa for pretty much all your life or whatever, right? You move up to say
Everyone's opinion
Inverness,
on
which is a
matches
lot
dropped
colder.
massively.
Yeah.
You're going to obviously feel the cold quite quickly, quite a lot,
Yeah.
but you adapt to that. You become thicker skinned because you're adapting to your climate,
Which is why I have a fuzzy face.
which is why he's big boned.
Why I'm insulated. Insulated. Right,
Later,
but
right,
no,
okay.
like that's
Yeah, this is
diverted
yeah.
the
Yeah,
diverted
right.
the topic.
Back on the topic, right?
But yeah, basically what I was saying was
Whatever your
the
point you were trying to make
PSP
was.
was really really uncomfortable for me,
Yeah.
and handheld consoles generally are. Like even the 3DS and the DS were quite uncomfortable for me.
Well, I'm lazy and I don't like holding stuff up. I like to put it more uncomfortable.
But yeah, so
I
like
sit with my keyboard and my.
I love
stuff.
how like a minor point on the grip of a PSP has led to a discussion on evolution.
No, I understand where you come from in terms of like the 3DS. The 3DS I think is a bit small. But I really like the PSP's design because it was longer, and you're like my hands didn't cross, so, like they were just kind of like my fingers were just touching, and I preferred that. But no,
I'll tell you
I
what,
think-
a masterpiece of bad design was the PSP Go.
Yes.
Oh my
Yeah,
god!
oh my
I tried to hold. I couldn't even hold that.
As much as it is valid, I still think it's sort of diverging from the point we're talking about next gen
Yeah.
consoles. One part of the rumours that I sort of took notice of was the pricing for the PS4 or Orbis.
$400.
$400 it's been marketed as, which is $200 or $199 if we're going to be pedantic, cheaper than what the PS3 originally was.
Oh, is okay.
It's cheaper than
$400, not
Yeah.
pounds.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it's cheaper than
that is
the-
your mistake.
Yeah.
it's been marketed cheaper as the PS3, and I think I can sort of understand why. I was talking to Max earlier about this, is that when you're buying the next generation consoles, you will get the game console as sort of the base starter pack. If you're wanting extra peripherals such as your TV or your music services or anything like that, it might be separate hardware, it might be added software,
Yeah.
but you're not paying for that originally. You're not paying for.
So it'd be kind of
Yeah.
like
It'll become very
arcade and
Yeah,
stuff
it'll
like
become
that.
very much more subscription based.
Yeah.
So they're not trying to sell you that product just now. They'll wait until they've developed it further and sell it
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I get it.
when it comes out.
Yeah.
More the point.
Well, I'm very interested in what the next gen of consoles are going to be like.
I was telling you about the virtual.
Yeah,
reality. I
headset
still don't know what the hell it's called. I accompanied the Kickstarter like a month ago.
and I've ended up with
Oculus
ridiculous
Rift.
amounts of money.
It's,
The Oculus Rift.
yeah, that's exactly
The
yeah.
headset.
Yeah, and it's the market is a peripheral rather than a full on like console thing.
Yeah.
So you just plug it into your Xbox.
Yeah,
whatever.
it's just a
It's-
screen.
yeah.
You can plug it into your computer. Into your
And
mouse.
that's what I think is really. I think that I'm guessing that'll be a big part of next gen of having peripherals that add virtual reality stuff.
I
Because
hope so.
it's such a cool idea and it works so well.
Yeah, have you seen I saw a video of a guy using it, and
He's like ducking
obvi-
under stuff. and-
Yeah, like in the game, he came up to a beam, and obviously like the character in the game would probably like there was like an inch between his head and the beam.
Yeah.
But as he walked under it, like on screen, in like while we were we were watching what he was seeing on a projector.
Yeah.
And then you could see him in front of the projector, and he was just walking towards this beam, and he got to the beam, and he like almost hit. Like he was just like, "Whoa! Didn't see that there." And you were just like, if he like he really he said that it just seemed so real. Like he obviously knew it wasn't real because it was a surreal environment, but it's like both eyes get a slightly different image, so it is 3D.
Mhm.
It shouldn't damage your eyes in any way, like the Visual Boy or anything like that, because it'll be high definition
Boy was so
screens, full color, and also like the Visual Boy. I think it damaged people's eyes because there was crossover, and like the right eye saw what the left eye was going to see, and
Oh,
everyone
The
just
Visual Boy just
Virtual
basically
Boy,
sprayed stuff in your
not-
face.
Virtual Boy, that's what
Not
it's
visual.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it basically sprayed lasers in your face. And
yeah, that was
It was all in red.
oh god, yeah. But the Oculus, it does look good, and it's the kind of thing that, imagine that as, again, going back to, I said, you know, you take the Steam box or the Ouya with you wherever you go and plug it into a television. Don't even need a television anymore. Plug it into your Oculus Rift and sit on the train and get mugged so fast.
I was going to say.
I just take it out and like, oh, what? I'm naked.
But things like that, like at that point, you don't even need a screen. You have a controller.
Yeah.
As long as you have a power source.
I'm so happy they're
Um,
like marketing it as a peripheral rather than because it's sort of thing that if they market it as a full-on console, no one would ever buy it.
Yeah.
But-
And they're
But it needs developer support to
Well,
sort of
they've
use
they've shipped off developer kits in the last
they've
few
shipped
weeks.
off developer kits, but the point is because of the way it works. Like, if say what the worlds they showed you were built in UDK, and basically they gave him an Xbox controller and he had the headset on. So you move with the left stick as you usually would, but you turn your head.
Yeah.
You actually physically turn
Yeah.
your head, and the player turns his head. Now, obviously, it's not quite the same because if you're pointing to walk forward and you turn your head to the left,
You don't turn.
as a human, we can walk forward and look left, not in the game. But it's a really cool idea because it means that you know you can sit in a chair and play this game and use it.
That
And it has a gyroscope.
could be edited though, because
Yeah.
I know that in Arma 2, I don't know if it was in the first one. I never played the first one, but there's a like you have
You
your
move your
cursor
head,
crosshair,
yeah.
but you can actually move your head and continue moving in the same direction.
Right.
In the same sense though, like
Well, you can do that.
you
can strafe in
wouldn't be
games.
able to look away and change your direction of walking because you don't know what's there.
Well, yeah, no, but you can also in games you can obviously you wouldn't technically be walking forwards, you'd be walking sideways. But if you were looking and you wanted to continue moving to the right, you can
Yeah,
just move the right stick
there's
and
other
straight.
ways of doing it.
Like obviously that you can still do that. I'm saying that it would feel strange as a human playing it like that, turning your head and all of a sudden you're going in that direction. I would find that strange anyway.
Yeah.
But the point is, what they do, like the way they break it up, having the two 3D images, you can essentially have like any 3D game played on the kind of Oculus Rift. Obviously, people who use dev kits, just like the Wii U, if you develop for the Wii U, you're going to get a better Wii U exclusive than a port. But as it is a peripheral, you can play other games on it. It might not have 3D, it might not use the actual head movement, but you can use it as a screen.
Yeah.
Which it does look amazing. It looks like a really cool piece of kit.
Yeah.
I think that's like definitely important when you're thinking about next gen consoles, because the point of creating another console is for the gaming experience to be more immersive. That is the primary goal of advancing technology. If you weren't trying to make it more immersive, there would be no need. Like, you wouldn't improve graphics because it wouldn't matter. You know, you wouldn't improve like features and like player ability in games because it wouldn't be necessary. So immersion is the core of advancing technology, and I'm really interested to see what they do different, because everybody says, oh, they don't need a gimmick, but they kind of do, because the gimmick is the like foundation of a new console in itself. Be it like last time when PS3 came out, it had Blu-ray like HD quality graphics. That was its gimmick. And now the Wii U has the gamepad, and you have your kind of individual playstyle alongside other people, but can like maintain separation. So you can be playing like the Luigi's Mansion thing in Nintendo Land is a perfect example. Is you're playing as the ghost, you can see everybody else, but they can't see you on the screen, and you've got the gamepad. So it's a good example of how you can change the way that we play it, change the immersion in the game, because people are like, oh, I don't know what he is, and they work as a team, and you have a different level of how you approach the game, how you approach the experience. So I'm waiting to see what PlayStation and like...
Yeah, I think the next couple of months will be really interesting to see what they come up with.
Yeah, I think that they kind of have to have something. And like the idea of...
What about HD DVD 2?
HD 2.
Well, the thing about it is...
3D is in the current gen, so it can't be 3D. 3D can't be the focus of it. Yeah. And it's trying to work out what the next focus is going to be. And it's hopefully going to be controller based.
Not Kinect. Microsoft have said that there's going to be the Kinect 2.
Yep.
Which will come with the... Let's hope it's called the Xbox Infinity, because PlayStation Orbis and Xbox Infinity, like, that'd be cool, because they both kind of mean the same thing. But basically, like, they've said that, like, you know, the Kinect 2 is going to be with the, like, you know, it's going to have games and stuff.
I hope.
Yeah. And then also Sony were saying that they are not going to release, or they don't want to release, a DualShock controller.
Yep.
It's going to be the PlayStation 3 is going to be the end of the DualShock controller, which is sad because it was an amazing design.
Yep.
But it's nice to see Sony innovating.
Yeah.
And hopefully they won't design another boomerang controller, because that thing looked hideous.
I want another GameCube controller.
That
was the most comfortable design.
I'm kind of worried about controllers, because the Wii U's controller seems to fit the Wii U, because the Wii and the Wii U.
It fits the playstyle, but you've got like a pro controller for it. So it's like a different.
Well,
approach,
no, the Wii and the Wii U are the Wii and Wii U are they have games that you play with people in the same room as you.
Mm-hmm.
With PS4 and PS Orbis,
PlayStation
Orbis, and
Infinity.
And yet, if they stay the same as PS3 and Xbox 360,
it's
they'll
all
mostly
online.
be online.
Yep.
So I don't understand. I'd be kind of worried if they start focusing on marketing it as something you play with people.
Well, that's the thing. They might not market it as something you play with people, but with people in the same room.
Yeah,
but
I was going to say
the
games are a social thing.
If they had, like, just because they're redesigning the controller doesn't mean it's going to be like they're going to design one like, you know, the Wii U and then have the DualShock controllers as well, and then you'd be able to play with 5 people and all this kind of craziness. I mean, they might do something like that.
I suppose
I don't know where I read it, but they said they were.
Maybe there's something completely new that I'm not thought of them doing. So.
Well, they said they were, like, you know, experimenting with the like the technology.
Not
they had
another power glove.
A power glove would be amazing.
No power gloves.
One that works. But yeah, no, like I do want to see the new controllers they come out with. I want to see what the Kinect 2 is, and why we need it.
Hopefully it has a balance board. That was the problem with the Kinect. You could play games on it, but you couldn't move anywhere. There was no directional flow.
My problem with the Kinect is you had no feedback at any point.
No, well, you did in certain games. I felt like you didn't move, so there was a problem with that. I hated that. Star Wars tried to fix it with you jolt forward, you kind of lean forward,
don't
and
ever mention Star Wars today.
And you'll jump forward. No, my friend did.
Oh,
but like, I think that was a nice attempt, but you need some kind of balance board type thing. Like, you need something physical on the floor for you to move on.
I do think so. You do need something that gives you
direction.
feedback when you make contact or something.
The problem with all
like in a
motion control I have, like, fair enough, things like DualShock with like shaking and things. Yeah. That's not what I'm talking about. But even things like the Wii U with sword fighting, right? Sword fighting is probably the best example because there aren't a lot of games in Kinect. I mean, games like Dance Central and stuff, they work perfectly on Kinect. That's what Kinect is built for, right? But things like, say, if you had like sword fighting, I'm assuming like the lightsaber fighting and stuff.
Yep.
Or some kind of fight game, boxing game on Kinect, which I'm assuming there is.
Yep.
What happens is, if I was physically in a real fight, right, which is what we're going for, immersion, right, and I went to punch someone, and as my fist was getting to their face, they hit me, right, I would be pushed backwards, my punch probably wouldn't land, and I would have physical, I would have to recover, whereas in this Kinect boxing game, I mean, surely I could just stand there and just throw whirlwind punches because I'm not going to get physically
Yeah, it's probably
hit.
why so many
If
people
you want,
You can't stop me.
if you want, I can stand in front of your TV and punch you
No.
while you play Kinect.
That's what
No, like I think I get what you're
motion
meaning.
Needs that.
I
because
I
it
get what you
doesn't
mean.
work
I get
otherwise.
that like with controllers you've got the vibration function, which would start with the kind of rumble pack in the
Yeah, those kind
Nintendo
of
64 and
things.
like that gave you a bit of feedback. I get that, but I think that it's also up to the actual game itself to immerse you in it. Like
Yeah.
Fable the Journey, right? Nobody like hate on me for this because I actually enjoyed playing it. I played it and I thought that it was really good. And I felt some kind of feedback just from the visuals and sound of it. So when I was attacking, when I got hit, I stopped attacking. I did it instinctively. I didn't think, oh, I'm feeling something, I have to stop. I didn't feel like there was something physically blocking me. It was a reaction to the
Yeah.
actual game.
Well,
I think
try and
that
fix
works.
Stuff like, well, in terms of obviously the Wii U fencing game.
Yeah.
At least I think it was the Wii U fencing game. I played a sword fighting game on the Wii U with the Motion Plus.
Yep.
And
It'll be the
Wii Sports.
Sports Resort.
I think it was, but I'm not sure.
Yeah,
Like, it
sword
could-
fighting and
yeah.
Sports
But
Resort.
it might have been a different game that used the same mechanics. But basically, like, if you hit them, obviously the speaker and the Wii was like, ching! And, and
Fantastic sound
flashes
effects
and
there.
stuff came up. And it was all kind of thing, like, if I was to strike, right, and they hadn't blocked, I would have hit them. I strike, they block, ching comes out of the remote, and I'm like, flashes come up on the screen, and I think that's meant to make the player be like, oh, whoa, okay, and the controller vibrates. And yeah, that's fine for feedback for now, right? That was fine for the Wii U, right? But for the Wii, because it was quite premature, but
premature.
well, it was quite a young
Yeah,
console.
yeah.
Like, it was the initial kind of motion sensing and stuff.
Yeah.
Like really in home consoles and all that kind of stuff. But the Kinect, it's pushed it, right?
Uh-huh.
It's a lot more complex than the Move and the Wii's motion controller, and it just, I don't think we're there yet until you actually have things like force feedback pads.
Yeah.
and
I don't
stuff.
think you're going to
It's
get
not-
sort of physical
Until you have
feedback like
Exactly,
that.
which is why we shouldn't even have motion.
I'm not saying you shouldn't have motion control. I'm just saying it makes it
I
more.
am.
It makes it more difficult to immerse yourself in, say, a boxing game, and you're not actually getting punched, or you're not. Yeah,
I
exactly.
I like.
But if you wanted the sort of feedback, then why are you playing a game?
what?
Yeah.
punch someone in the street.
Just go start a fight.
Exactly.
We don't condone that. We do not condone that.
Motion control-
I didn't
I didn't know
I'm pressing circle to punch some guy. I'm not going to stand up in my living room and. Why wouldn't I just go outside and punch a guy? Like, no.
The
That's
point
what I'm
is,
saying.
I like
Why
GTA,
would you
but I
play
don't
a
run
game?
into people
it's
over.
not supposed to make it feel real. It's supposed to make you feel like you're doing something surreal.
Yes.
That's the difference. That's why you can't
That's the
have
immersion.
that. That's what makes
Immersion,
a difference.
yeah.
That's
I
why.
agree with Matt. So you need to have some. I think
Well,
Well, we're two
Two
against two,
against
so
two here.
we're actually
we,
having a proper discussion for once, rather than everyone agreeing. And
yeah, we can't decide, so we'll let everyone else decide.
yeah.
I didn't even voice
Like
the whole
the-
argument.
So, like, any comments, let us know if you're on mine
On
and
Facebook,
Andrew's side.
Which is facebook.com
Yeah.
/Hourglass Broadcasting.
Are you going to do this every week?
Follow us on
Twitter.
YouTube at youtube.com
Amberglass.
/AG Broadcasting.
No, it's Amberglass Broadcast.
Amberglass is still okay.
Amberglass
or
Broadcast.
follow us on Twitter at twitter.com.
Like we said last week, all the links
Broadcasting.
are on Facebook or Twitter. You can
And
get us
Or
there.
YouTube.
Or
description as
YouTube.
well.
On the
Yeah.
description.
Yeah.
So I learned
Everything's
how to
linked.
do that last week. So.
So get in touch and let us know if you're on mine and Andrew's side or Max and Neil's stupid side.
Yep. Agreed.
And we'll see you next week.
Yep. Take care.
Bye.